to extend and deepen the principle of rights. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the calling of our day. To understand this principle and to deepen it and to extend it. That is what we need to do. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as you all understand, or you wouldn't be here today, all is not well today. A cancer has implanted itself in our fair nation. A cancer has implanted itself in our institutions, and a cancer has implanted itself in our minds and the minds of our children. And the first symptom of that cancer is a corruption and a perversion of the idea of rights. A corruption and perversion of what rights mean. Rights today have been undercut and destroyed, so that what do people mean by the word rights today so often? They don't mean the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of action and property, pursuit of happiness and property. What do they mean? They mean rights to every whim and wish and desire you might have. Do you desire an education? There is a government entity somewhere who will give it to you. Do you need or desire health care? There is a government bureaucracy who will provide it for you. Do you desire a new car? There is a car czar now who will not only provide you with a car, he will decide what kind of a car is proper for you to have. Well, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but when did the United States suddenly start living under czars? I thought the Russians lived under czars before they got around to communism. Is that the road we are going to place ourselves on? And notice the view of man that goes along with this concept, this false, phony, corrupt concept of rights. It is not man, the independent, self-motivated, self-directed being. It is man, the sniveling, whining, dependent, who goes and begs before the government for his food, clothing, and shelter. And notice how every one of these rights requires what? Where are these things going to come from? For every one of these rights, there is someone who is enslaved. If you are going to get free health care, what does that imply? There is a doctor somewhere who was enslaved to provide you that health care. If you are going to be given a free car, what does that imply? There are taxpayers somewhere who are enslaved to provide you with that car. The principle is not changed if it's millions of people taxed only a certain amount. They are enslaved to that amount. This phony, perverse concept of rights enslaves people and reverses the entire meaning of the American Revolution and turns us all back into the slaves, which is what we were when we were under the British king. So look back at yourselves again in that mirror, look at each other, look at your families, and ask yourselves, do you accept this position of slavery? Because if you accept the gifts that your congressman gives you when he comes back to your district. I heard a story just this week of one congressman who came back to his district and said he voted for the cap-and-trade tax because Pelosi gave him $50 million for a new aquarium in his district. The people in that district, do they realize that every leash is a rope with a noose on both ends? That aquarium is not a gift from the government to them, but is a means of enslavement for those who have to provide that, and a mortgage on their lives. Don't accept it. Understand that this is a perversion and a destruction of rights and a destruction of your life, your right to life, your right to liberty, your right to the pursuit of your own happiness, and a right to property. And reject it. Once you understand it, then shout it from the rooftops. Tell your elected representatives that you understand that this is not what rights mean. Rights are the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to the pursuit of happiness, and the right to property. And it cannot coexist with this phony, false, corrupt concept of rights as the satisfaction of your whims. Tell your children when they come home and their teachers or their professors have told them that rights mean they have a duty to serve somebody else in order to satisfy their whims, look them in the eye with the full knowledge that you understand the issue and tell them, no, that is not what rights mean. That rights mean they have the right to live their own life, to exercise their own liberty, to pursue their own happiness, and to earn and keep their own property. And that the only duty they have if you want to call it that, is the duty to be the best person they can be when they live their own life. And pass that knowledge on. That is the way that we will save this country. And if we can gain that idea and pass that idea on, then we will be able to reverse the individual issues that you've heard so much today. Thank you all for coming out. Happy 4th of July. Long live the United States, the birthplace of the individual rights of man.